yourselves for a battle of epic proportions between two titans. Feast upon their voices and revel in their words. This is Dueling Ogres.
Hello, Ogres, and welcome to episode 124. Thank you for joining us, as always, on this scissor-armed Monday evening, Earth date August 28th, 2017. I'm your host, Remington Hitchcock, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Brandon Full. Say hello, Brandon.
Hello, Internet. Back again, 2 weeks in a row, ready to lick you in your ear holes.
Ooh, that's provocative. I like it. It's real
we
good.
Run a provocative podcast.
We do. We
provocative with news.
And licking, apparently.
We're just slutty with information.
We are. So last week we had come back and we had a 1 week break and we were tired and we were like, man, this is a podcast. How did you feel about last week?
I thought it had its ups and downs. I thought part of it was good, and then towards the end, but that's my problem, is I always run out of steam at the end. Yeah.
I think we both did, and it just seemed like it was like, oh man, we don't even know what we're talking about, this podcast.
Was it a shitty episode? Because I didn't listen.
It wasn't our best. It wasn't our best episode. I will go as far as to say that it wasn't our worst episode, because we have said some things and done some things that we regret in our lives. But fortunately,
what would you say is our worst episode?
Fortunately, those episodes haven't ever been released. So
okay, so you're taking like the first 8 as our worst episodes.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
I thought some of those were the most raw. They were like Eddie Murphy.
I mean, yeah, they were raw, but to that end, they were also raw.
Yeah.
It was like having sex for the first time. It was awkward and insulting, and
that was not my experience.
Really?
At all.
Was it magical for you?
Was it magical?
Time? Yeah, the podcasting the first time, or sex for the first time? What are we talking about?
Both, I guess. Both of them were magical. They were about what I expected, and I'd do them again.
Good. I'm glad. So
one of the many ways that podcasting is like losing your virginity. It's better when more people listen to it.
Yeah.
And somehow Loot Crate wants you to advertise during.
This episode of Dueling Ogres is brought to you by Loot Crate.
This episode of Losing Your Virginity brought to you by Loot Crate. Loot Crate for pets.
Get 10% off of your next order. Using promo code Dueling Ogres Sexcast. Don't use that. They don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, you can use it. It just won't do anything.
Right, exactly. So, Brandon, what have you been up to this past week that we didn't record?
Nothing. I never have anything exciting to do. I'm still playing Pokemon.
I thought you beat it.
I did.
You're just still breeding them Pokemons?
Yeah, there's in-game stuff, so I've been doing that. There's basically like an endless battle mode you can do. But yeah, for the most part, I've just been trading and breeding. I've been trying to get all of the starter Pokemon from all of the generations.
I see.
And I'm still missing a Squirtle.
How can you be missing a Squirtle? Isn't that like a starter Pokemon?
Yeah, but that's Generation 1 Pokemon Red and Blue. So like Pokemon Sun, up until a certain point, you could trade Pokemon up from like red to gold and Heart Gold and Soul Silver and all that. So you could have all these Pokemon and just continue to trade them up your generations.
Okay.
Well, it hit a point with Pokemon Black where you couldn't trade older Pokemon to Pokemon Black. So it created a barrier that you could no longer go further on.
Okay.
So Pokemon Sun is a new barrier. You can't trade Pokemon from any other generations to Pokemon Sun. Unless there's a service that Nintendo offers called the Pokemon Transfer Bank.
Okay.
Where you pay $5 a year. So it's nothing. It's just basically covers the cost of their servers.
Right.
And any game that you're running digitally, you can upload Pokemon to the Pokemon Transfer Bank. So like I could pay $10 and download Pokemon Red, the original one on Virtual Console, and upload the Pokemon from that to my Pokemon Bank and then pull them onto Sun.
Okay, I gotcha.
Which makes those Pokemon a little bit more rare because people have to actually go back and grind through Pokemon Red, which is not a fun game to grind through at all.
Oh, yeah? Was it like, okay, so of the Pokemon, because you've played pretty much all of them, yes?
I've played about half of them. There's been a lot of them. I went through quite a few years where I didn't have a DS.
I gotcha. Did you, do you have a favorite?
I mean, Pokemon Red I enjoyed just because of the nostalgia factor.
Mm-hmm.
I still have it on my Game Boy Advance, and I went back and tried to play it probably like a year ago. I think I actually talked about it on one of our episodes, and it's just like, it's such a grind fest. I couldn't handle it. Pokemon Sun, the Pokemon games are always grind fests. There's really, when it boils down to it, you're just running around in the grass leveling your Pokemon.
Right.
But there's so much more stuff to do as the generations go on. They give you other shit to do. Like Pokemon Red, all you do is grind your Pokemon to get to the next town to beat the next gym leader.
Right.
Pokemon Sun, there's like traveling around and there's side quests and blah, blah, blah.
So it's a little, I mean, it's still a grind fest, but it's not quite as bad.
Yeah. Well, you have a thing where before in Pokemon, especially in Red, if you were trying to level like a first level Pokemon, your whole team was like level 20, but you wanted to get your first level Pokemon up.
Yeah.
You would be in a higher level place. You'd throw that level 1 Pokemon out first. And then before any attacks happened, you draw them back and send out a stronger Pokemon. Okay. So it was getting part of the experience for it.
I got you.
Now they added in where even if your first Pokemon wins without doing, and none of your other 5 Pokemon do anything, your first one's the only one that battles, it splits the experience with the rest of your team no matter what.
Okay.
And that is a huge help.
Yeah.
Because it lets you get from like level 1 to like most of my Pokemon are in their mid 60s, 65, 66 as far as level goes now.
Right.
So if I throw a level 1 Pokemon on my team and I fight like a level 50 some Pokemon, the level 1 on my team that's never been sent out is going to gain probably 12 levels after one fight.
Oh yeah. Wow. Okay.
So, and then once it hits like level 25 or level 30, the experience stops leveling it so much by itself because it starts to get like, because it's all based off of percentages, you know, like a level 1 Pokemon beating a level 50, you're going to get 20,000 experience.
Yeah.
Where a level 50 beating a level 50, you're going to get like 800.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, I've just been doing that and breeding them. I have a whole box full of Charmanders now. Somebody sent me a Charizard.
Yeah. Just a whole mess of them.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
I've been working on writing too. I haven't really got into that. I've been working on trying to write a story.
Oh, yeah.
I would like to turn into a novel, but I mean, I'm trying to base off of what we've talked about where we talked to Viscount Terry W. Irvin II and use some of his tips and hints that he's given us in his interviews about writing and getting past the process and stuff.
Yeah.
So
and I remember you mentioning that in like our group chat a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I'm not really trying to like talk about it a whole lot because I don't know if it's something that'll actually pan out. Sure. I got like 5 pages in and already hit a impasse. Yeah.
Writing,
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Writing is very much one of those things. Like I stopped writing and I am far less creative because of it, because I wasn't exercising that bit of my brain that. So it's not exactly like riding a bike. You never forget how to write. Like, if I sit down and I have to write something up, I can do a pretty decent job.
Yeah.
But if I were to, like, sit down and write a novel, I don't know if I could do it, or if it'd be any good either, for that matter.
Yeah, I got so mired up in dialogue that it just kind of slowed it to a halt, because I'm trying to, like, do exposition. I'm also trying to remember show, don't tell.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But there's a certain amount of, I'm working on like a sci-fi thing. I want to do like kind of a sci-fi comedy thing. And there's so much world building, and I'm kind of trying to figure out how to get between just letting the world speak for itself and like interactions with people, and kind of just dumping some of the information to get out of the way, like, here's what this planet is, here's what it's like. Now that you know that, let's continue.
Yeah.
Versus the constant exposition of characters saying like, oh, you haven't been to this place? Well, you need to be careful because X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
So, but I know first drafts are always shit anyway, so I need to just barrel through and write, even if it's awful, just to get words on paper. That seems to be, anytime I've talked to a writer, that seems to be what it boils down to, is like, just fucking write, dude.
Yeah.
Just put words on paper. You can go back and change them. Yeah,
you can. We did a writing exercise when I was in summer school. Excuse me. I went to English summer school one year, and
in England.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Spotted tea and everything, and we.
Write more about chimney sweeps.
More chimney sweeps. We need more chimney sweeps.
Just an angry man rapping a ruler.
Yep. But we would do writing techniques, and I had Mr. Yoke at PHS. I ended up going to PHS, so some listeners may know who he is, some may not. He really let me explore the more... I don't know if he was into, meditation and stuff as much as he supported my endeavors to be in meditation and stuff. I really don't know. I know he likes a good dark beer, but we would do these writing exercises where you wouldn't think about what you were writing. You just start writing and just kind of let it go. And don't pay a whole lot of attention to what you had written before. Just keep going and see where the words kind of take you. So it's this kind of free form, harnessing cosmic energies and just letting it flow through you and into the paper, into your pencil and onto the paper.
Sounds like some hippie bullshit.
It was, but at the same time, it really kind of, if you let your mind wander and just let the words kind of spill out, you may not get something good, like from a structure standpoint, you probably won't get something good, but you'll get something interesting. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
Or at least you'll work toward getting something interesting. It kind of unlocks those points in your brain where, say you have writer's block. If you're working on an actual story and you get some writer's block and you're like, I don't know where to go from here, just put it down and go write something else and do this free form thing. And then all of a sudden you'll be like, oh shit, what I just wrote would be perfect for a continuation of my story. And it's just,
okay, yeah,
there you go. So that's something to, if you happen to run into a point where you kind of have a writer's block and you're not sure where to go with the story, you might want to do that technique, because that one was a lot of fun to just meander through.
Okay. I mean, normally I tune out like most of the advice you give me.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh.
But after last week when we were talking about meditation, I tried, because I've been continuing to do it, I tried to focus on what you were talking about with like the emotions washing over you, kind of like an ocean.
Yeah.
And it worked. I tried to kind of incorporate it into what I'm doing. So Good
Oh,
on
that's
you.
cool.
You've suggested one thing in your life that I took to heart.
Well, I'm glad I could be of some monochrome of help.
What about you? Before we get into stories, anything going on in your life?
Not really anything that I haven't covered. Last night you and I were talking. It was way late, and I do want to at least give a public apology to Stephen Hines. We wanted to have him on. He's already messaged us and said, hey, it's cool. It's no big deal. We'll make it happen at some point. But we wanted to have him on after Viscount Terry, and I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
We just, I guess, got busy and forgot that we were working on getting him on. And we wanted to get him on before school starts because he's a teacher as well. And it didn't happen. So sorry, Stephen. We love you, and we will have you on soon. So
we will have you. In a lot of ways, we will have you.
He was all like, "Oh, it's fine. I haven't been doing I haven't been commenting on the episodes. I've been listening, but I haven't been commenting." So,
so fuck him.
Oh, Brandon,
I'm sorry.
Come on.
I'm sorry.
Don't ostracize a listener just because he isn't commenting.
One of the few listeners who interacts with us. I probably shouldn't ostracize.
That's right.
him.
Every last one is precious.
We just want to milk them.
We just want to milk their comment juices.
Ugh.
Yeah, you got to tune in for the video so you can see my milking fists. My fists of milking doom.
Although
have you ever
I do
seen
have to
milking
say, if
fists
we were
this big? Yeah.
If we were playing charades and you did that, I would 100% know you were milking a cow.
Or a goat.
I would. Who's going to guess goat right off the bat? Goat herders.
Yeah, exactly. Goat herders. Mm-hmm.
I proved myself wrong within 30 seconds.
Yeah. See? You got a real good brain, Brandon.
So do you want to just go ahead and get out of the way the tick? Do you want to talk about the tick first?
Let's go ahead and talk about the tick. That's what I've been doing anyway.
So this has been a running thing we've talked about multiple episodes now, with Amazon announcing they were doing the tick, and then the pilot episode, which I wasn't a huge fan of the pilot episode. I can't remember your opinion on it. I think you were more of a wait and see kind of.
Yeah, I would say so.
So the tick launched on Amazon, and Remington and I both watched 2 episodes.
Right.
In fairness, I didn't rewatch the pilot. Was there anything different on episode 1 versus the pilot, or is episode 1 literally just the pilot?
Episode 1 is the pilot.
Okay. So I didn't rewatch the pilot. I watched episode 2.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I rewatched the pilot and watched episode 2.
Okay.
Just so I could, because it had been a little while since I had watched it. So, for the last time that we talked about, when I actually talked about watching the pilot, I think one of my big kind of gripes was that his suit was really weird.
Yeah, I noticed that they made a comment about his suit looking different. Arthur
notice?
says something like, "You look different."
Yeah. Did you notice it? Like,
what did they do with his suit?
So before, his suit was it was really weird and pitted looking.
It was like kind of it looked like a carapace almost.
Yeah, it was more Carapacey.
Yeah. Quit being so Carapacey. That's what a mother, that's what a wife bug says to her husband.
Stop
when he's
being
in a bad mood.
Carapacey. Yeah.
Bug jokes.
Bug jokes.
Hashtag bug comedy.
Hashtag bug jokes. So yeah, they
hashtag insectibride.
They made it more. That's fine. They made it more armory, at least on the pectorals and the abs.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I guess my complaint, I'm gonna chalk it up and say that Amazon listened to our episode because we tagged the tick in it, and specifically took my thoughts and made it better on screen. I'm sure it had nothing to do with everybody else saying that the armor looked funny. It was solely me making the tick a better place.
Well, I'm sure you can expect a gift basket from Amazon.
I sure hope so, Brandon. A tick basket. Just a basket full of ticks.
Basket of ticks. Amazon, why?
No, Amazon, no!
Yeah, they heard us
I
talking
have
about
yellow
that.
fever.
But then they also heard the episode where we pretended to be them dealing with Apple.
I was Lyme disease.
And
that's what it is.
They weren't such a huge fan of that one.
Yeah. Wait, what about Apple?
The episode where we role played Amazon dealing with Apple.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I said yes, and then I had forgot what we were actually doing in that.
Yeah, you seem to do that a lot with the things I say.
Yeah, I don't really pay much attention to you. I just agree.
Mm-hmm.
It's a trait that I learned long ago.
Genocide, right?
Yeah. Wait, what?
So I thought that the character is Peter Serafinowicz, right? Is the actor?
Yes, Peter Serafinowicz.
I thought he was a lot more palatable in episode 2 than I remember him being in the pilot.
Yeah.
But I also went into it with a more open mind than I did the pilot.
Okay.
I went in to the pilot thinking Patrick Warburton was great as the Tick.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to fill his shoes. So I kept comparing Serafinowicz to Patrick Warburton.
Right.
And I went in this one a little more open-minded, thinking like, well, there's a whole season now I can watch and really allow to grow. And I thought he was good.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying the dynamic between him and Arthur, the Tick and Arthur in this. And even Dot, Arthur's sister.
Yeah.
I thought, playing on this kind of, Arthur's insecurities about how he lost his father. I don't want to give too many spoilers away because if you haven't watched it yet, you should really go watch it. It's a lot deeper than the cartoon or the Patrick Warburton take on it. There's a lot more character story in this.
It's a lot more mature too. I mean, they're saying fuck. There's like a scene towards the end of the second episode that is insanely violent. So bloody.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that all of them are interacting really well. The stuff between Miss Lint, like when Miss Lint comes in and deals with is it Pharaoh?
Ramses. I think maybe something Egyptian.
Yeah, some Egyptian thing. I think that their interaction, just from I'm really just picking apart the performances.
Well, we're nerds. That's what we do. We pick shit apart.
Yeah, I think their performances were a little it almost kind of felt forced.
Yeah,
but some of the other stuff with Miss Lint was better. Like her performance was better. So the stuff between her and the Terror was better.
Yeah, that really set up more of, because I assume that Miss Lint is going to be like sort of the face of who the bad guy is, and then the Terror is going to end up coming around at the end and really being like the main big. Because have you seen the Terror? Like, I know in the pilot episode, Arthur swears that the Terror is still alive. Have you actually seen that the Terror is still alive?
No. Any references where you have seen the Terror have been flashbacks.
Okay.
So, and the guy who's playing the Terror is, if I'm not mistaken, the same guy who played, oh shoot, what was that one superhero movie that came out a few years ago that everybody was like, this is freaking weird? Why am I
have no idea.
Yeah, you do. The ink blot mask.
Oh, Watchmen?
Yes, Watchmen. The guy who played, what was that character's name?
Rorschach.
Thank you. God, I just couldn't remember anything about that.
That's the actor that played Rorschach?
Yes.
Oh, wow. I had no idea.
Yes, I'm double checking right now.
But I know what you're talking about as far as Miss Lint and Pharaoh Ramsey's guy. That interaction specifically when they're in the car seemed really forced. It seemed like it was just to get exposition out of the way, like,
Yeah.
I don't know why you're so obsessed with this Egyptian thing. I don't know why you're the only one who didn't get the tattoo. Like, it just seemed like, okay, we need to cram in some story here real quick.
Yeah. And yes, just double checking, the terror is played by Jackie Earl Haley, who plays Rorschach in The Watchmen. And Freddy Krueger in the 2010 adaptation of Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah.
So, I am excited to see where the series goes. And I wanted to watch more episodes last night, but I didn't want to get too far ahead of you for us to talk about it.
Yeah.
But I'm probably going to binge a couple episodes tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I have such a tight freaking schedule when it comes to watching. Tight schedule, Brandon.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Saw that little gleam in your eye. And of watching TV things, even though this is on Amazon, you can watch it free 30-day trial down in the description.
But Remington, I don't have Amazon Prime. How could I ever watch it?
You could get a free 30-day trial, Brandon, by clicking on the link below in the description. You
don't fucking tell me to do anything, Remington.
You don't have to. It's all up to you, buddy. Ding.
DuelingOgres.com/watchamazonthetick.org.
That's not what it is.
DuelingOgres.com/yesItis.org.
There's more than just .org.
.org.
.gov.
That's all I could think of was the org.
.ca because it's Canadian. So
what are your predictions for The Tick? We'll wrap up our TikTok.
The first episode I really, I enjoyed. There were a couple of things that were a little weird. The Tick was really out there in the first episode, and they seemed to dial him back a little bit.
Yeah.
And I really liked how they played that maybe the Tick was a manifestation of Arthur's fears and how he wants to be the strong guy, and how that really reached ahead in the second episode. And then Dot was like, no, I can see him.
Yeah. I mean, I knew where they were going with it.
Yeah.
But leading up, I really liked the fact that when they play, they only play off that maybe Arthur's imagining him for like 5 minutes in the show. It's very short. But I did like that in that time period, the poncho he's wearing is blue.
Yeah.
Which kind of added to the whole maybe the Tick being blue. And it was the same exact color blue as the Tick's outfit.
Yeah.
So maybe Arthur does think he's the Tick. Yeah. And then immediately they shoot it down. But
the other thing that I thought was really funny was the product placement. Because if you notice, that blue poncho was a Coleman blue poncho.
No, I didn't notice that.
There was Coleman, there was Canon, his printer. He was printing something off in that second episode, and you could clearly see Canon written across it. So, you can expect to see that in these Amazon shows. They want to put that subliminal advertising in there, especially because you're watching a streaming episode. So they have to get in their sponsors where they can.
And with Amazon, you could literally click 2 clicks and buy the poncho he's wearing.
Yeah, exactly.
Or buy the printer he's using.
Yeah, for sure. Or
it's both a little insidious, but also super smart.
Yeah, you could probably click the links down below and buy them off of ours as well.
You mean the links down below, the affiliate links?
Yeah, the affiliate links that we don't
not affiliate links
that we don't talk about, Brandon.
Those unnamed links.
Talk about the links.
But we do talk about the links.
Oh yeah,
you talk about the links at length.
Yeah. No, there won't be any links for that stuff down in the below. Just the
Wink.
Amazon wink. Just the 30-day free trial, and that's just so you can watch The Tick. Let us know what you think, because so far I'm really enjoying it. I liked the first and second episode, despite whatever minor gripes that I've had. and I'm really excited to get the time to watch the rest of them. So,
yeah, I mean, I joked we're nerds. We could pick apart stuff all day, but overall, like I said, I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to more. Arthur was more dialed back in this episode than he was in the first one. And I mean, they still played up his like schizophrenia and medication pretty hard.
Yeah.
But I felt it was less in your face even than it was in the pilot episode.
Yeah, I guess I could get behind that. So, okay, what do you got there, Brandon?
I have a couple quick stories, which is good because I know this is going to be a shorter episode.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. All right. There is a new DC Joker standalone movie.
Okay.
That has been talked about. It's not in production or anything yet. But this just cracks me up. This is DC's model. And I know we shit on DC all the time, and I'm going to continue to shit on them right now.
Yeah, okay.
They're doing a Joker origin story.
Okay.
That is produced by Martin Scorsese.
Okay.
And they want to do it in the style of like Taxi Driver and Raging Bull. So a very serious, it's going to be an 80s piece. The director is the guy who directed the Hangover movies. Todd Phillips. So you have Martin Scorsese producing and the director of the Hangover directing. The Joker is not going to be played by Jared Leto. It's going to be a new Joker, a new hire. Mm-hmm. And it's not going to take place in the DC movie universe they've set up so far. So it's going to be a Joker origin story in its own complete thing.
Sounds accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, it gives them more freedom, I guess, because I'll try to do the benefit of the doubt here, so I'm not constantly just shitting on DC's movie ideas, even though I think that they deserve a lot of it.
Yeah.
It gives them more freedom to do something different. It gives them more freedom to make Gotham darker, to make the Joker get killed at the end if they wanted to.
Yeah.
I don't know why they would, but it's its own little slice of whatever.
Yeah. I'm not averse to, I mean, the Joker really kind of only has maybe one or two origin stories.
But no, he's got a lot of origin stories.
Oh, does he?
He has one or two major ones, but yeah, he gets new origin stories all the time.
Okay. So yeah, that's one of the other things about DC is that they're rewriting their origin stories and all of that. I mean, I get breathing new life into old characters for that next generation, but damn, does it really sting that old generation? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, people don't like change. Most people don't like change. So when you change the crux of everything that a character is based on, and they still end up being a very similar character to how they were if you just would have kept their fucking backstory, then what's the point in changing it at all? But I mean, I guess I'm okay with the idea of watching a movie that really just highlights the Joker himself.
Yeah, give me 1 second. What is the really famous Batman comic? Dark Knight Returns?
Yes, I think. Wasn't that one of the movies?
The Dark Knight Returns. Okay.
For those of you watching the video, I'm sorry. I haven't been paying very close attention to my screen, my changing the scenes. So I just did all of that talking while you were staring at Brandon, listening intently to me.
I don't think anybody will complain.
Nah, probably not.
Yeah, so one of the most accepted Joker backstories is from Dark Knight Returns, where you see that he's like a down on his luck comedian who turns to some crime, just like a one-time thing, and becomes the Joker from that, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So that's one of the more accepted ones, but he doesn't have really a set backstory. They change it. They've been changing it in the comics for forever.
Okay. So, well, like I say, either way, I'm okay with them doing a different movie. that highlights the Joker in all of his potentially crazy glory. So,
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, yeah, we shit on DC movies all the time, but there's a reason why we do. So
Because they're not super great.
that's right. So,
I did watch Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
did you?
Yeah, you haven't seen that yet, have you?
No, I have not. But what'd you think?
You need to see it so we can talk about it. So I'll go very no spoiler since you haven't seen it, and I want you to actually watch it and be surprised.
Uh-huh.
I thought it was a very enjoyable movie. I can say that I don't think I like it more than the first one.
Okay.
I think it tries to capture what made the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie as good as it was and as unexpected as it was.
Yeah.
And I think they rely very, very heavily on the late 70s, early 80s soundtrack of, Awesome Mix Volume 1 and Awesome Mix Volume 2.
Yeah.
I think they rely a bit too heavily on that to be like, hey, remember the first Guardians of the Galaxy? Here's this one. It's also got music in it.
Okay. Yeah.
There's more than one scene that's like ultra violence set to a 70s song playing in the background. Okay. So like the juxtaposition of like song about love versus people getting their throats shot out with an arrow.
Right.
And one time that's cool. Second or third time something like that happens, it's like, geez, okay, like I get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the visuals were super cool. The story was good. There's mixed reactions on Drax because Drax is not the same character he was in the first one.
Yeah.
And I think I remember mentioning this, or we mentioned it when the trailer came out, about how Drax seemed totally different and how he was laughing.
Yeah, yeah. Where it's just this weird it's almost like he had more character. But
in the first one?
Well, no, in the second one. Well, I mean, from what I've seen in the clips, it's like he has more character to him. Where I mean, the backstory of Drax, depending. I think they've made him like a proper alien in this. But I think the original story of Drax the Destroyer was he was a man whose family was indirectly killed by Thanos, and he got like blasted to a different dimension or something like that and became Drax the Destroyer and is hell-bent on destroying Thanos.
Yeah, I don't remember. It's Marvel Comics.
Yeah,
I love Marvel, but it's all fucking word salad half the time with characters' backstories.
Yeah, that's the truth.
But Drax, the way he's laughing, in that scene from the trailer where Mantis is reading their emotions and he's like, you're so embarrassed.
Yeah.
That's not a one-time thing. Like that Drax is Drax throughout the whole movie.
I gotcha.
Like, I know I mentioned it in our group chat and you said no spoilers, so I won't give spoilers, but one of the biggest laughs for me in the movie, and it won't make any sense to you until you see the surrounding part of why he does this, is at one point his war cry is, my nipples!
Okay.
So yeah, it makes complete contextual sense too. It's not a random thing. It's perfectly explained in the story why he's yelling my nipples.
That's
as
great.
He does something heroic.
I'm glad that's properly worked in there.
So yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, I wouldn't say is in my top favorite Marvel movies. I mean, it was good for sure. I'm not shitting on it. I enjoyed it. Yeah. But there were things I could complain about. There were some parts that felt really forced, and it felt like they were kind of trying to get in. They're clearly trying to set up the more cosmological aspect of Marvel that we're going to see come into play with the Infinity War saga.
Yeah.
And I mean, Thor Ragnarok is going to come out and really show more of the alien species. But yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 gets into like the eternal gods of Marvel and like the characters who are a million times stronger than Thanos and just like make up the universe.
Right.
It hints at those and gets into those a little bit. So
yeah, that's good since we probably won't see like Galactus in the Marvel film universe anytime soon. So
yeah, because he's still tied up with Fantastic Four, I think.
Yep. Still owned by Fox, I think.
All right, I will cover the tick. Blah blah blah. KFC just released a VR game.
Damn it, Brandon! Why did you have to talk about KFC? That
Yeah.
immediately makes me want KFC.
You hungry for chicken, buddy?
Yes, all the time. All the time. Love chicken.
They released a VR employee exclusive game.
Okay.
That is part of their training now at like some of the big KFC stores. I mean, you're not going to go to a KFC in West Virginia and they're going to hook you up to a fucking Vive.
I mean, I don't know. They might fucking don't judge us. Don't judge us, Brandon. Don't judge us.
So they showed a trailer for it, and it's a KFC virtual training escape room.
Okay.
And it's got like a really creepy aesthetic and spooky music playing in the background. And there's like a knocker to the door to escape, and it's the Colonel's head, and it slowly zooms in on him, and his eyes roll back, and it's just black pupils.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and the fucking training video is to train you how to use the fryer.
Is there video of this?
No, it's just a trailer. It's employees only.
It's just so like I can't go to YouTube and find this?
I don't think so, but I don't think it's been released yet. Although I don't know 100% because I just watched the trailer.
Okay. But you can find the trailer of it?
Yeah. If you search, it's called The Hard Way.
Okay.
Is the name of the game. So I'm sure if you search The Hard Way KFC, you'll be able to find the trailer.
Okay. And I'll probably interstitch in maybe right next to your head a little box that has the trailer playing as you're talking about it. So now I got to put it on that side. Yeah. Okay. That works. It'll probably be done by that point, or that side, whatever. You see, you didn't watch the last video, but when we talked about Terry finding the picture of the rover with a billboard in the background, I put that over your face, and then it like zoomed,
oh really?
Yeah, and then it like zoomed into the corner, that corner right over here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, see, I forgot to switch scenes again, man.
God damn it, Remington.
I know. I need a director. I need a director to take care of this so I can podcast.
See, yeah, you're focusing too much on the video aspect when we need to just be bringing solid, hot content to our listeners.
Just jamming that hot content right in there. Just getting it in there. Just like this. See, video content.
Getting past that disgusting imagery you've put in all of our listeners' head, and before they manage to finish tying the noose and hanging themselves, imagining you cramming anything into anything else.
Yeah.
Speaking of virtual reality, the HTC... we were kind of talking about virtual reality.
We were, yeah.
The HTC Vive has dropped $300 in price.
Oh, wow. So what does that make it from what to what?
I believe it was 800 down to 5.
Okay, cool.
But it could be 9 down to 6.
Okay. So if you're wrong,
$599 is what it's at now.
Okay, so it was $899 and now it's $599. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a cool step because VR is going to become more affordable. Now you have to still have a PC that can run the Vive and run it well, which is like $1,200-$1,300.
Right.
So that's the downside. But I feel like from $900 to $600 is a pretty affordable jump down.
Yeah, I think so. Anybody would like to save $300. So
yeah, exactly.
It'll be interesting to see if it ever gets lower than say 300 as far as it goes. Maybe 500, because I mean, you're right. You have to have something that'll run it, which is a tall order. Running that kind of virtual reality is difficult on a system. So
yeah, I mean, you can build a low end system that'll run it for about 700.
Okay.
Because it's all in the graphics card and the processor for it.
Right.
Like most things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, 9 to 600, that's a third price drop.
Yeah.
That's a 33% price drop, which is pretty substantial.
Yeah, I agree.
And then I noticed that GameStop is running a thing where if you trade in a system towards the Vive,
Yeah.
regardless of what the trade-in price is on your system, you get an extra $100 towards the Vive.
Well, that's cool.
Which puts in GameStop typically doesn't have super great trade-in deals.
Yeah.
But if you're looking to get a Vive and you have, an extra PlayStation or an extra Xbox One or whatever sitting around,
yeah,
you get like $250 in the case of the PlayStation 4, $275 towards a $600 system.
Wow.
That's pretty affordable.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very good. So I'm going to, catapult myself off of you and get in a couple stories real quick, because we only have a few minutes left that we can do this.
Yeah.
So, real quick, the Xbonix, the Xbox One X, the Xbonix, has been officially announced as being the fastest selling pre-order ever.
Ever for Microsoft or just ever?
I think it's just ever, period. This is from express.co.uk. And this is a quote from the senior vice president of merchandising for GameStop. Microsoft has done it again. The innovation and power behind the new Xbonix. He doesn't say Xbonix. He says Xbox One X. Console is driving excitement and demand among our customers worldwide. The speed at which we sold through our initial pre-order supply surpassed expectations and what we experienced with pre-orders from the original Xbox One console. This new system is definitely going to change how video games are played. So,
yeah, and this one that was available for pre-order was the limited edition Scorpio.
Oh yeah,
edition of the Xbox One X. Yeah,
I gotcha. So
it was black. It had, I think they're all black, but before it was announced as the One X, it was Project Scorpio.
Yeah.
So this was a limited run where it has Project Scorpio and like green writing on the side of it.
Okay.
You have a day one controller with Project Scorpio on the controller. And then the box that this comes in is styled to look like the box for the original Xbox. The 2000s original Xbox.
I gotcha.
So more like an early adopter collector's item kind of thing.
Well, that's cool. The article goes on to say that that it's been confirmed it had officially overtaken the PS4 Pro on the Amazon US 2017 bestsellers list as well. An analyst at Nico Partners has crunched the numbers and revealed that the Xbonix is now ahead of its biggest rival, even though the upgraded PlayStation console has been available all year.
Yeah.
So Xbox One X pre-orders seem to be doing well on Amazon. Already ahead of PS4 Pro on Amazon US for 2017 year-to-date. These were tweets that he tweeted out. This is an indication that the Xbonix pre-orders are doing quite well, especially since pre-orders just started. Can't infer more than that, though. So, yeah. And that is pretty exciting, I guess, for Microsoft to know that their Xbox One X system is performing very well.
Oh, yeah. I think it looks like a great system. And I own an Xbox One, and I've been kind of in the camp for a little bit that I kind of wish I had a PS4 instead.
Yeah.
There's just a lot more exclusives on PS4. Microsoft doesn't really bring it as far as the exclusives go.
Right.
And I like their hardware and their UI better on the Xbox One, but I buy the system to play fucking games on. Right, and the PlayStation has a lot more games I'm interested in right now than the Xbox.
Yeah.
And Microsoft's been dropping it on exclusives for quite a while.
Yeah.
So, but even then, I really wanted the One X. I got caught up in the hype of like, ooh, a limited Project Scorpio edition. It looks so slick.
So I think that wraps up all the news about Xbox One X that we want to talk about, yeah?
Yeah, I think we'll see where it goes.
You look different.
I certainly don't know what you're talking about.
So anyway, next up was apparently, which this is something that it doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it's like these big stores just, they either like get a cease and desist from the company that they are pertaining to, or they just don't give a shit. Target, somebody was rooting through their like site map or something to that effect and found a link that has it's pretty much a blank page that says Bethesda : Game of Thrones. It's a blank landing page of some sort. So
what does that have to do with Bethesda's colon specifically?
Well, you know, Bethesda really shits out some good like MMO or like RPGs or that sort of thing, and it seems like it's a perfect company to release a Game of Thrones game.
So to release it all over the walls.
Yeah, just like a mall public bathroom. You know, you just let it fly all willy-nilly because you don't have to clean that shit up, right? They have staff to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You just keep shitting down the line until you get to that one guy that has to scrub up the Bethesda games. I feel like we lost our analogy somewhere along the way.
I don't know why you were even reaching for a poop analogy anyway.
I was colon and just, I don't know.
I mean the colon as in the, you know, two little dots.
I know it was a double entendre and I was attempting to make a joke and it failed.
Yeah, that's because
it went tits up, it went to poop.
Mm-hmm. It went right to poop. We don't do poop humor on this show, Brandon. We only do poop humor. We only do burp humor.
If you say it all as one word, it sounds like a fancy British man.
Pupe humor.
Pupe humor.
Or
a Star Wars character.
Oh, the new Star Wars character, Pupe humor.
I'm tired of all these forces awakening. I'm Poop Humor. Lightsabers. God, this podcast is so stupid. I don't even know what the fuck we're doing.
It's all you, buddy. You,
not Poop Humor.
You ruin our podcast or make it great. I haven't decided which.
I don't think anybody has decided.
We just get even the long-term listeners are just shaking their heads like, what the fuck is going on?
This? I mean, we've come to expect this, but it still surprises us every time.
It's like, how many times can we watch the same train wreck?
So the thing with Bethesda...
Spoilers, every time. You can watch it every time.
We're going to keep ramming this right into that Looney Tunes wall.
That's right. Anyway, with Bethesda, go ahead.
The thing with this leak is these things actually happen more frequently than I think you think they do.
Okay.
A lot of times websites will just hear a rumor of something and go ahead and throw up a placeholder page.
Yeah.
Even if it's not the case. Like there are websites that still have Half-Life 3 for pre-order, even though Half-Life 3 has never been announced.
Yeah.
Or even intimated it's being worked on at this point.
Okay.
The fact that it's Target and the fact that the site is still up makes me think there might be a little more to it, though.
Oh, you think so? You don't think that it's just... But I mean, like, why would somebody at Target put out like the web designer or whoever higher up told him to do this, or her? I don't want to be sexist.
Yeah, but okay, we got it. You're progressive. And this is in some alternate future where women can code. Yeah.
Oh, jeez. I tried.
That's gonna lose us some.
I try to be nice, and then you twist my knife, knife.
I know.
You just. Where was I? What was I talking about? Oh, somebody.
You were talking about how much you hated women.
Somebody told somebody to put that in there. You know. Yeah. So who would even think, Bethesda does a lot of RPG stuff. If anybody's going to make a Game of Thrones games, it's going to be Bethesda. Like, do you think that that's something that actually went through some asshole's head?
Potentially. I mean, they could potentially just have the page there because they've heard something. There was a rumor a few years ago, it was announced that Bethesda was offered the Game of Thrones franchise and turned it down.
Okay.
So there is precedent that whoever actually owns Game of Thrones went to Bethesda to get a game made.
Uh-huh.
So this could be a holdover from that they just found.
So you think so theoretically then, you think that it's possible that this page has been up for a long time and somebody just finally found it? Or maybe it was
possible, but
or maybe it was
at the same
accidentally
time
leaked. Sorry.
Yeah, I think that it was probably accidentally leaked because somebody you said was trolling the webpage and found it, right?
From what I understand, a NeoGAF user spotted a new listing at Target. I mean, so the page itself doesn't have a timestamp.
So that makes
visible.
me think that it is newer.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think with the news that's come out about it, if it was something, you should be able to go into the site and see when it was last updated and when it was posted.
I guess if you know how to do that. I mean, I don't know. Hold on, let me pull it up and see if I can find a timestamp or anything somewhere. See, the certificate, it looks like, for the site is valid from 7/19 to 7/25, but I don't know if that means anything at all in regard to like the publishing of the page or when it was created. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, I mean, as far as Bethesda games go, I love Bethesda games. It's very well documented how much I love Bethesda games, especially the main studio with the Fallouts and the Elder Scrolls and all of them.
With the Fallouts and the Elder Scrolls. Yeah.
And this would be an actual Bethesda, the main studio game, which means it would be the same teams that worked on Skyrim and Fallout 4.
Yeah. Now, I mean, people have been looking for a Game of Thrones game for a while, and there have been a few. We've gotten a few not so good attempts at Game of Thrones games, according to this Forbes article. I've never played any of them. Most recently, Telltale's narrative-driven game that had to awkwardly work within existing show plot points, but never a full-on massive RPG. So
yeah, I played the first part of the Telltale one.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm.
Even though
it was split into 5 chapters. I played the first chapter.
Okay. Even though you've never seen the show?
I mean, I've seen like an episode or two of the show, but very early on. But no, I like Telltale games. Telltale does pretty good. They're like heavy narrative, choice-based games. Pretty much like choose your own adventures without as much of the thinking involved.
Yeah.
It's like an interactive book.
But it's not a game that you finished.
Yeah, it was so glitchy. It was kind of at the end, Bethesda, Telltale, it seems like they sort of rushed it out.
Yeah.
I don't know. The engine, It just ran awful.
Yeah. You know how it is with shows making games. They want to rush it out as quickly as possible to capitalize on some perceived market.
And Telltale is kind of notorious for that. Telltale has become like a factory that just pushes out these narrative games.
I see. That's always a bummer because then, if your focus is a narrative game, you want the narrative to be good.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't just copy and paste something. Like, you've got to make sure that the narrative fits within the design of the game.
Well, and that's the thing is the narrative, as far as story goes, the narratives are typically pretty good. They did the Batman game last year, and that one is pretty well regarded outside of the engine. Their main problem is the engine.
Yeah.
They're just kind of reusing assets and reusing the engine and just kind of copying and pasting. So the story's great, but the gameplay gets old pretty quick anymore because there's nothing new. They're not revolutionizing anything.
Right.
If you've played one Telltale game, you can assume you've played all of the others because it plays exactly the same.
I gotcha. See, yeah, I mean, even still, that's a bummer. But we see here, the article continues, that it's well known that Bethesda is working on at least 2 major games that seem to have priority over Elder Scrolls 6, right?
Yeah.
One of the games is supposed to be something called Starfield, some sort of action sci-fi RPG. The other, according to a few unverified leaks, may be this Game of Thrones title. The history of these leaks is summed up in an informative video that you can watch over there on the Forbes website. There isn't much going on, but the point is that this listing is not totally out of nowhere, and there have been whispers of this game before.
Yeah, it is. I'm interested to see where it goes because typically Bethesda announces new games at E3.
Yeah.
And Bethesda, one of their big things that they do that I appreciate is when they announce a game, they don't announce it like, here's a game we're working on, here's a trailer, we'll see you in 2 years. They're like, here's a game we're working on, it's coming out in 3 months.
Right.
They wait until the game is done, ready to stamp before they really announce it.
Yeah. Which is a good thing on their part. I think a lot of people get tired of that sort of, here's an announcement for a game, get excited for it, and get ready to wait for 2.5 years before we actually release it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's good to know. It's kind of a double-edged sword because you want to know that your favorite gaming company is up to something. But at the same time, you don't want to know exactly what it is because then you have all this anticipation for something that may or may not be good.
Yeah, and there is that downside to Bethesda too. Like with Fallout 4, up until E3, they were like, we're not working on Fallout right now.
Yeah.
Just straight up saying, no, we're not working on it. And then E3 hits and they're like, just kidding, it's done. We'll see you in 4 months.
They're like, yeah, we weren't working on it because it was done. So do you have any other stories, or do you want to expound upon this anymore? Any thoughts?
Well, with Game of Thrones, they just had the season finale last night, right?
Yes, they did.
And I think, correct me if I'm wrong here, somebody at work was telling me that there's only one season left and it's going to be like a short season, like maybe 6 episodes.
I feel like I've heard that, but I don't have any verification in front of me for that.
So what did you think about the season finale? I haven't watched it. I would avoid spoilers because I know people get really fucking serious about Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
So speak in as broad of terms as possible.
Ginger.
I liked when character A interacted with character B.
Right. Ginger even was like, listen, we need to make sure that we watch Game of Thrones tonight because I don't want any spoilers. Really, the best episode of this season was not this one, but 2 episodes ago, where we see Daenerys finally go
doing
after
action.
We see Daenerys doing action on her dragon. Wink.
I gotta tune in apparently.
Yeah. But no, I mean, yeah, if you are not caught up, then I'm gonna get a little spoilery because this is from the couple episodes ago. So if you haven't watched it, then you're behind on your own problem.
Petard.
Yeah, petard. But she has the forget what they're called.
Dragon.
No,
Fingers.
not the dragon. Don't try and fill words in for me, Brandon. Just let me think.
Okay.
Jeez.
Go ahead. Don't let me stop you. And see, now you're just wasting time giving me how dare you eyes instead of thinking. Dragon fingers.
I fucking hate you. Not the wildlings, because the wildlings are the ones that are up north. But whoever
the Frostwalkers?
Huh?
The Frostwalkers?
No.
Aren't there Frostwalkers?
No, there's no Frostwalkers.
Okay, I don't know them. That was a real guess.
Yeah. Whatever her. I can't. Oh my God, Brandon! I can't even think of words. Like I can't even think of the other word that I want to use for them.
Just call them dragon fingers.
What is somebody who is not deemed like socially acceptable. Like they're not. They're wild. They're
Outcast?
no, something more like visceral.
Pariah?
No, not like outcast. Not
Dragon fingers.
no, like somebody who's brutish and Neanderthal-y. Come on, fucking help me with synonyms.
I have no idea what you're saying.
Why do you hate words?
I think you just say dragon fingers and we move
I'm
on.
not gonna say dragon fingers. This is not happening, Brandon. I'm not giving dragon fingers to you. There's only one dragon finger that I'm giving you right now.
For our listeners, it was his middle dragon finger.
I don't even know how to fucking spell it.
You're really getting down on yourself for not figuring this word out.
Just hate everything that I do. I'm the worst at all things. The Dothraki. There we go.
How the fuck am I supposed to know that word?
You weren't, but that's not the word that I was trying to get you to give to me. But anyway, she sends the Dothraki in to mess with the Lannisters' forces. And they have a payment that they're giving back to the Golden Bank or whatever they call it, whatever their big banking system that kind of funds the wars. The Lannisters had a substantial debt, so they basically sacked another kingdom, took all their debt, and paid the bank back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, sorry, I just realized that she attacked that caravan, and I thought it had the gold. So how did they pay the bank back? Like, so this episode was so intense because this dragon and Dothraki attacking this caravan was fantastic. Like, I mean, I was
shot well.
Oh my god, I was sitting on the edge of my seat and my leg was just going like that. It was just thumping back and forth.
Yeah.
Because my RLS really acts up if I'm really into something. So but yeah, now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure that was the caravan that had all the gold that they were paying back to the bank. So then what happened to the gold? Anyway, the next episode was par for course as far as it goes. This final episode, it wasn't as intense, but we finally get to see a character get the axe that we have been waiting for eons to get the axe. Well,
like a real shitty character.
Yeah, less the axe and more slicing his throat.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was pretty awesome.
Was it satisfying?
Yes and no, because the character was played so well by the actor that most of the time you knew he was bad, but then there was always that one little bit where you just weren't sure.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like the scorpion on the dog back.
Okay.
Do you know that?
Yeah.
That tail. What do you call that?
Yeah, he stings him halfway. The fable.
Yeah, the fable.
Stings him halfway through.
Yeah.
Says, why'd you do that? Because it's in my nature.
Yeah, exactly. So he's very much the scorpion on the dog's back. Okay. I'm glad you knew that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think that the show itself went very well, but and they ended the season on a real a real solid shit's gonna hit the fan real soon. But
okay.
The undead basically are coming for the living, and they finally gotten past the ice wall that is up north That was the only thing that was keeping them from coming. So
now they're just going to pour through.
Yep. So now they're just going to pour through. They broke the wall, but if you're really interested in watching it, I won't tell you how.
Okay. Was it ice picks?
Yes.
Okay.
Just very small ice picks too. Like just a single undead just chipping away at it. And
it's a living.
And and he finally hit that one weak spot that causes the whole wall to crumble.
I'm excited to see this now.
Yep. Mm-hmm. It was.
Did you see
really
they announced that they're working on 4 spin-off series
of Game of Thrones?
Yes.
Wow.
4 spin-off series.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't watched Game of Thrones, obviously, so I can't say. I'm sure there's a lot of lore there that they could expound upon. And, do prequels and afterwards and side stories and stuff. But fucking 4? Like, come on. That's a lot, right?
Yeah, that's totally a lot. Well, I mean, there are a lot of characters. But I don't know. It seems like it's an unnecessary thing, to be honest. Because most everybody dies anyway.
Yeah, well, they're making so much fucking money that, they're not going to leave that line on the table.
Yeah. That's because, we're greedy.
I mean, if people are eating it up and enjoying it, more power to them, I guess. Shovel it in.
You know who knows how to end the series? The
Who's
Canadians.
That? Canadians?
Yep.
In what way? What are you thinking of specifically?
They wrap up a story arc, and that's the end of that show. Doesn't matter how popular it is.
Yeah, but what are you referring to?
Well, that's the end of it, eh? All right, let's move on to the next one, eh?
So you're still not giving me the name of any sort of show that you're referring to.
Many of them.
Yeah, give me an example of one.
No.
All right, fair enough. Always leave them wanting more.
That's right. Continuum was a pretty good show, and it could have kept going if they really wanted to.
I'm not familiar.
Exactly. See? That's because they know when to make a show stop. Because it was getting to the point, it was still good when it ended, but if they would have kept pushing it, it probably would have not been so good.
Yeah, I think that shows and any series really benefits a lot from having a definite ending point.
Yeah.
So speaking of this, if we want to go into a story real quick.
Yeah.
So Half-Life 3 has been in limbo for 10 years.
Yeah.
It's been 10 years since Half-Life 2 Episode 2 came out. Valve at the time said they were doing an episodic structure and there was going to be at least 3 episodes.
Uh-huh.
Half-Life 2 ends on a huge cliffhanger. Or Half-Life 2 Episode 2 ends on a huge cliffhanger. Like a major character dies, fade to black as the major character's daughter is holding his body and sobbing.
Right.
Like right before you go on this crazy thing to end the fight.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it's been. Valve has talked very little about any new Half-Life ever since. A lot of the original writers of Half-Life have now left Valve, including the main writer, whose name is Mark Laidlaw.
Okay.
And he wrote a lot of the story for Half-Life 1 and 2 and some of the episodes.
Yeah.
So people, since he left, contact him constantly with like, hey, what's going on with Half-Life 3? What's going on with this? What's going on with that? And he doesn't comment on it. Or he's like, I don't know. I don't work there anymore. Don't ask me.
Right, yeah.
A few nights ago, 2 a.m. on his website, on his blog, he released a piece of writing called Epistle 3.
Okay.
Where he basically wraps up the story of Half-Life 3.
Okay.
He replaces the names of the characters with like obvious proxies. I don't know if it was just to be glib or whether it was an NDA thing. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, it picks up directly where episode 2 ended and basically explains what happens in episode 3. What would have happened.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it gives a lot of closure to Half-Life players. I mean, I've always hoped for a Half-Life 3, and who knows, at some point they'll probably make it or whatever.
Right.
But it was nice to read from the original writer the story wrapping up.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. And you can find it online. You just search Mark Laidlaw episode 3. You'll find it. A lot of gaming news sites ran with it because it's pretty big news.
Well, I mean, we're going to be doing links, like proper links in the bottom of this one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we can probably put one of those many links down there for somebody to find it.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool, Brandon.
Yeah, so check it out. I mean, if you're a Half-Life fan, you've already read it. If you're not a Half-Life fan, give it a read anyway, just to see what the guy's style is like, because he's a good writer for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, some people might have been Half-Life fans and then finally just given up on there being a new Half-Life game. Mm-hmm. So having that knowledge out there is a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, it does a good job of... It carries on like the aesthetic of the game in his writing, and also ends it. It wraps up the story, but also ends it open-ended enough that you could continue on with more story. Because in an interview last year, he was talking about the cliffhanger. Somebody asked him about the cliffhanger of episode 2 and like how it would have been wrapped up, and he said it was always my intention to leave every game on a cliffhanger.
Yeah,
to just always leave it open-ended for more. That was kind of the nature of how I wrote it.
Yeah.
So this does a good job of like, it kind of wraps up Gordon Freeman's story while also leaving expansion for other stuff to happen. So,
okay. So even this story left a little open-ended.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yep. So that's all I have as far as stuff goes.
Gotcha. The only last thing I have is just a smidge of Star Wars interesting tidbits. Rian Johnson, who is directing The Last Jedi, tweeted out that first he tweeted out a poll asking people, just off the top of your head, which movie would you guess has the most wipe transitions? You know what I mean by a wipe transmission?
Yeah.
Tranny.
Yeah, I gotcha. The transition famous in all the Star Wars movies and a lot of pulp sci-fi movies. I think he got the wipe specifically from Flash Gordon.
Oh, yeah?
Used it to great effect, yeah. Maybe not great effect. Maybe that's an exaggeration.
Yeah, it's
to
Flash
effect.
Gordon.
It used it to effect.
Yeah. So it turns out that there were 44% of people thought that Empire Strikes Back had the most wipes, which they were correct. Empire had 42 wipe oh my gosh. Transmissions. A New Hope rang in with 31, and The Force Awakens had 14. So his... he responded to that information with another tweet that said the most wipe transmissions. I'm not going to get it right.
Yeah,
the most wipe transitions in a Star Wars movie was Episode 1 with 55.
Holy Christ.
Yes. 55 wipe transitions.
Wow. A wipe transition is pretty noticeable too.
Yeah. I wonder if I can do a wipe transition.
You should try to do a wipe transition when we go into the ending.
Trying to do a wipe. I mean, I think I do a wipe transition when I actually edit it anyway.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we'll see what I can do.
Okay.
I'll do it at the end or something. To my eternal shame, he continues, The Last Jedi is bringing up the rear with a measly 12. 12 wipe transitions.
Yeah.
12 nighttime transmissions.
12 dragon fingers.
12 dragon fingers. So yeah. That was it. Just a neat little thing from the director of The Last Jedi.
Yeah, and I think when I see wipe transitions in other movies, I definitely think Star Wars. I think Star Wars kind of made them, at least for us. I don't know. I'm sure there's people who watch Flash Gordon and all of those and remember wipe transitions. Who knows, but.
And we've seen some other things come out as well, just in regard to in regard to The Last Jedi. We've seen some new Star Wars posters, like classic styled posters, come out.
Yeah.
The both of these articles were from Comic Book News, but we've seen. Man, I need a third window that shows this stuff. It'd be easier if I did something like that. I'll have to keep that in mind for next time. For the video peoples. For the video peeps. These are new products. These are new products that you'd be able to buy. What were you going to say? Go ahead.
I was going to say, I know that there's action figures coming out next month, I think. Black Series figures of characters from Last Jedi.
Yeah. This one is a puzzle that has the cast portraying a classic movie style poster, almost like the ones Drew Struzan is known for painting with photos of the characters. The poster features all of the main players, including Luke and Leia, Kylo Ren, Rey, Finn, Poe, Captain Phasma, Chewie, newcomer Rose, and the droids. Where's Chewie? Oh, I see it. There he is. He's right there. I'm pointing at the screen. He's right there.
Are you putting him on the screen, or are you just pointing?
I'm going to. I'll do it. And oh man, now that means I need to actually save this image.
So you're just giving yourself more and more work.
I love giving myself work. I'm gonna save that right here. I'm gonna save it live right now. File name's called Zulunjad. That's a thing. But yeah, there's also there's not really a source from the image or for the image, but it's a picture of Kylo Ren bending the knee with his lightsaber ablaze, just like a sword, a knight with a sword pointed down into the ground. And then it has Snoke kind of hovering in the background, just a big head of Snoke, and he's flanked by Snoke's Praetorian guards.
I looked up. There's some action figures that have leaked from Last Jedi.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, so there's a Praetorian guard I can see, and then there's a Snoke action figure, which looks fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah?
Because it's like Snoke, just normal body, so he just looks like a normal dude except for his fucked up face.
I mean, you can do screen share and it'll go, oh, you're on the phone.
I'm on my phone.
Yeah,
okay. That's too bright for you to see. I'll have to send it to you for the edit. But basically he looks like he's in a fucking bathrobe. Like it's built completely like a bathrobe.
Interesting. Well, I mean, he's constantly out of the shower. I mean, do you see how dry his skin is? He's probably thousands of years old.
I can't download it. I'll have to screenshot it and send it to you.
Yeah. Just a huge disappointment, Brandon.
I know. So are we done now?
Yeah, we're done.
I think we've gone on long enough.
I agree. We had a little break. We made a little joke about it, but Brandon had to go pick up one of the kids from school, so...
Yeah.
So he did that and came back and went to his lovely bedroom so we could have a little more intimate podcast.
Little one-on-one time.
Little dirt in the floor.
Slip you a couple of the dragon fingers.
Yeah. Just like that. Just like that. A terrible sound.
To hear coming at you from behind? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So that wraps us up, and you're getting shout outs ready and all that, yeah?
Yeah, I already got him up.
Oh, man, you are just the best. So if you guys have any questions or comments or you'd like to hear yourself on air, you can call us at 978-DU-OGRES. That's 978-386-4737. We haven't had a call in a really long time, so it would behoove you to give us a ring, because it would make me very happy to play your voice online for us to talk with in past tense.
Succinct. You did it. You got it in one.
Thanks, guy. You can also reach us on Twitter at Dueling Ogres, email us at duelingogres@gmail.com, leave a comment on the Facebook page, which brings us to the point where I love most, the comments. Brandon, give me some comments.
Viscount Terry W. Urban the second said, I've been a Taco Bell crew member, visited Las Vegas, and am married, and believe each within its realm to be a worthwhile venture. This is in reference to our discussion last week that you could get married at Taco Bell.
Right.
Still, those experiences don't make the opportunity to get married at Taco Bell in Las Vegas very appealing. To each their own, right?
Right.
I say yes. To each their own. Let them get Cinnabons. Let them make love in a pile of shredded lettuce. Live and let live. Also, in response to Brandon's comments about the filtering straws in Thunderwells, they will filter 250 gallons each.
Yes.
We were talking about ceramic straws that filtered out gross stuff and you could drink from lakes.
Right.
Apparently, there's a lot of technology there I don't understand.
Yes, there is. He linked the product down in there, and I also linked it in our thing because it was
through
funny.
our affiliate link.
Through our affiliate link, yeah. Because you never know. You might need a life straw. You never know when you're gonna have to drink toilet water.
Yeah. I do it all the time, and if I had a life straw, be a lot more pleasant.
Yeah, exactly.
He also found a picture of David Hasselhoff, who we talked about last episode as well,
right,
holding one of our membership cards. I didn't realize that we actually sent out Dueling Ogres fan club cards, but he has two of them.
That's the official, unofficial membership.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I like the design we went with too, where it's just our logo and then it says member.
Yeah.
And then your name.
It was supposed to be simple and elegant when I first thought of the idea, and then I scrapped the whole idea, but some adoring fan picked it up and ran with it. And they've made far more money selling memberships than we've ever made on this podcast. So.
Oh, yeah. They just bought a rocket car.
Yes. A Lamborghini rocket car.
So, I mean, we need to make membership cards at some point, though, right?
I mean, at this point, it's moot. You know, I sold them the rights in order to buy a taco. See, it's a vicious circle.
To just buy one taco?
Just one taco.
You sold the rights to our potential membership club for one fucking taco?
It was a really good taco.
Where was it from?
Not Taco Bell.
It was from Taco Bell.
It was.
You could have gotten like.
It was from Red Burrito.
Oh, okay. That's fair. You know what? That's fair.
Yes. Oh, geez. Make sure to subscribe on our website. This fucking show.
I know. Every time. Every time. Yes, Red Burrito, tacos, jokes. Okay, shout outs. All right, we're done now. Bye-bye.
Make sure to subscribe on our website at Dueling Ogres for news, shows, or articles pertaining to some of your favorite geek news. Last time I said that Amanda was releasing an article once a month. It was more like once every 2 weeks. And her most recent article about Jacksepticeye launched.
Yeah.
So that was fun to read and enjoy and learn a little bit about Jack.
Yeah, go check that out.
Yep. She said about the only thing that she really didn't care for so much is that he drops the C word a fair amount. But I mean, he's Irish.
Cake?
No.
Chocolate?
No.
Cranberries?
Closer.
The band or the food?
Closer.
Country roads?
Close enough. So, but you know, everybody's got a word that they don't like. Some people don't like the word moist.
Yeah, you literally made some of our listeners cringe there.
Yes.
Which I don't get. It's just a fucking word. Come on.
Yeah, I love words. I love all kinds of words. Good words, bad words. They're all words to me.
Mm-hmm.
The only
Your regular Dr. Seuss, Remington. Your regular moist It's Dr. Seuss.
I am. I'm a very moist Dr. Seuss. The thing that I love about words is the same thing that I hate about words. I'm going to get a little existential here for you. Just stay with me, Brandon.
Okay.
Just stay
because you
with
lost me. You lost me, but I'm trying.
Because I love that. Sorry about that. That was weird. I blocked some light and the cam was trying to make up for it.
You got too much editor in your head, Remington. Don't worry about it.
I know. I'm sorry.
I got a fucking halo behind me the whole time.
Whatever, right? We don't need good quality content. Just content. Passable. The thing that I love about words is that there's so many different ones, and you can string them together in such a beautiful or hateful or inspiring fashion. Or you could choose to ignore words entirely. If somebody says something hateful to you, what does it matter? It's just words. It's like people. I grew up being called fat by my best friends.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't let it ruin me. I don't have a eating disorder because of it. I just, I said, well, I looked down and I said, hey, I'm a little fat. I guess it's true.
Yeah, but I mean, words carry power also.
Words only carry power if you allow them to carry power.
Certain words, yeah, but I mean, just human language as a whole, with it being one of the only ways we really communicate with one another.
Mm-hmm.
Words carry about as much power as you possibly can.
Yeah, but
language does anyway. Individual words, maybe not.
Well, I mean, language, and I mean, that's kind of what I'm talking about. It's just we've got Hitler who convinced an entire nation.
We have Hitler?
Yes, I have Hitler tied up in the basement. He's still alive. I just beat him regularly.
Oh, okay.
He has already said he's sorry for everything he's done, and I just nope. It would make sense that I would find Hitler at your house.
Yeah,
once a day, give him a little beating.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Just a little spank on his tush.
Well, yeah, barbed wire.
Okay.
But Hitler convinced an entire nation to do some terrible things, and it was all really through speech. Like, you've completely disappeared off of the camera.
I'm stretching my legs while you're talking because I know the camera will be on you.
Nope, it's on both of us right now. But that's cool. You're just relaxing, man. Just getting chill. I just need to
stretch my legs.
It's impressive.
All right.
But the power of words, that's a good illustration of the power of words. But to that end, if people would have just been brave enough to realize that what he was saying was false, because we had people who even acknowledged that, but they just went along with it anyway. So
yeah, well, it's part mom mentality too. Yeah. You get the people who are in power, the ones who really make the decisions. If they can convince a small enough mob of people to start gathering other people up like magnets, it just becomes this force before you know it.
Yeah. And I think I've probably said this before on this show, but one of my favorite quotes ever in all time came from a Men in Black movie.
I make this look good?
No. A person is smart. People are dumb, panicky animals, and you know it. And a truer statement has never been spoken.
Yeah.
I love that quote. So
was it the dog? Was it the pug that said that?
No, it was Kay. It was in the first movie, right as he was recruiting Jay, and they were sitting on the park bench next to the waterfront, and he had seen all that shit, and he was like, you can come and join us or not. So.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, go over to the website, do those things. Give us a 5-star review on iTunes. Leave us that review sauce, that good delicious review sauce. Little
Just smear it all over.
taco red sauce. Hit us up on the YouTube and hit that subscribe button and get the little notification ding going. You can do that. You can find us pretty much anywhere you can find a podcast. I mean, we're everywhere. Just search Dueling Ogres. Those 2 words will get you everything we ever have done.
Yeah, we've drilled ourselves into some pretty hard to find places.
Yeah.
But you'll find us.
Yeah. It was like a magical slipknot of duty.
Yeah, we're like a freak on a leash.
So until next week,
it's a Slipknot album.
Keep your clubs blunt. No, it wasn't. It wasn't Slipknot at all.
And your tusks sharp.
Good night.
Good night. Slipknot did Freak on a Leash.
No, that was Korn.
So what did Slipknot do?
Not Freak on a Leash. Oh, jeez.
Sorry, the coffee finally worked its way through my guts and I had to poop. I'm sorry, okay? Do you want me to just poop in my chair? I can hear you breathing. I know you're alive.
Damn it. How can you hear me? Am I dead?
Yeah. Yep, you're dead. Yep.
Okay. Sorry, I have an itch.
Is that what you're doing?
Yes.
Because it could be a couple different things on this camera that you're doing right now, Remington.
Yeah.